And your cortisol has been elevated for so long that your body has started to forget what calm actually feels like. You're not imagining it, you're not being dramatic, and you are definitely not broken. But to understand why your body keeps doing this, even on holiday, even after a full night's sleep, even when nothing is technically wrong, you need to understand the exact mechanism your stress system is running. And most people are never told this part. I spend hours breaking down stress research into something your nervous system can actually understand. So let's start where this actually begins. So, what is cortisol? And why does your body make it? Cortisol is produced by your adrenal glands, two small triangular structures sitting on top of your kidneys. They are roughly the size of a walnut, and they are capable of quietly running your entire stress response without asking your permission. Here is the trigger chain. Your hypothalamus, a region deep in your brain about the size of an almond, detects a threat. Real or perceived, it doesn't distinguish. It fires a chemical signal called corticotropin-releasing hormone, CRH, to your pituitary gland, which sits just beneath the brain like a tiny control room. The pituitary releases ACTH, adrenocorticotropic hormone, into your bloodstream. That signal travels down to your adrenal glands, and within 60 to 90 seconds, cortisol floods your system. Think of it like this. Your hypothalamus is the smoke detector. Your pituitary is the fire alarm panel. Your adrenal glands are the sprinkler system. And cortisol is the water. The system is brilliant when there is actually a fire. The problem is, what happens when the smoke detector cannot switch off? There are 7 core causes of chronically high cortisol. Now, here is where it gets specific. Because cortisol is not one thing. It responds to multiple distinct triggers, and most people experiencing chronic elevation are running several of them simultaneously without knowing it. First, psychological stress, ongoing worry, conflict, financial pressure, or emotional demands activate the hypothalamic, pituitary, adrenal axis continuously. Your brain cannot distinguish between a genuine physical threat and a threatening thought. Both trigger the same cascade. A difficult email and a predator produce identical cortisol responses at the hypothalamic level. Second, poor or disrupted sleep. Sleep is when cortisol is supposed to reach its lowest point, near zero, by 2 a.m. Each hour of lost or fragmented sleep raises cortisol by approximately 37% the following day, according to research published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology. You sleep badly because cortisol is high. Cortisol goes higher because you slept badly. The feedback loop is self-reinforcing. Third, blood sugar instability. Every rapid glucose crash, from refined carbohydrates, skipped meals, or high sugar drinks, triggers a cortisol release. Your body reads a blood sugar drop as a survival emergency, so it fires the adrenal response to stabilize glucose. 3 blood sugar crashes before noon means 3 separate cortisol events before you have had a single moment of actual stress. Fourth, inflammation. Chronic low-grade inflammation from processed food, gut dysbiosis, unresolved infection, or environmental toxins activates the HPA axis as a regulatory response. Your body uses cortisol to suppress inflammation. But when inflammation is constant, cortisol production becomes constant. And chronic cortisol then suppresses immune function, which creates more inflammation, a loop that medicine rarely addresses at the root. Fifth, overtraining or under-recovery. Intense exercise without adequate recovery is a physical stressor that raises cortisol measurably. High-intensity interval training sessions, in particular, produce cortisol spikes comparable to acute psychological stress events. For people already running chronically elevated baseline cortisol, high-intensity exercise can compound the problem rather than resolve it. Sixth, caffeine timing. Caffeine consumed within 90 minutes of waking stacks directly on top of the cortisol awakening response, your body's natural morning cortisol peak. Instead of allowing the peak to rise and decline cleanly, early caffeine extends and amplifies it. By afternoon, the cortisol curve is disrupted and recovery is delayed into the evening. Seventh, and this is the one most people are not told about, your nervous system can learn to produce cortisol in the absence of any current trigger. After months of sustained stress, the HPA axis undergoes a process called sensitization. The alarm threshold drops. Things that would never have triggered a cortisol response 18 months ago now do. And for some people, the system begins firing anticipatorily, producing cortisol before anything stressful has even happened, based on learned threat prediction. This is why you can wake at 3 a.m. in a completely safe environment, with nothing wrong, and feel a wave of cortisol-driven alertness that has no identifiable cause. Your system is not responding to what is happening. It is responding to what it learned to expect. So, what does this mean for your recovery? Understanding the cause is the first step, because every single trigger I have just described has a corresponding biological intervention, not a lifestyle hack, an actual physiological input that changes what your HPA axis is doing. If you want to understand the full reset sequence, the specific interventions mapped to each of these 7 causes, I have put together a free cortisol system reset guide that walks through the exact protocol step by step. The link is in the description below. Which of the 7 causes resonated most with you? Drop the number in the comments. And if you have been told your cortisol is within normal range while your body is clearly telling you something different, I want to hear that too. The comments on this one are going to be a conversation worth having. My job is not to diagnose you. It is to help you understand the biology behind what you are experiencing. And if you recognize yourself in any of these 7 causes, subscribe, because the next video covers something that most cortisol content completely ignores: what chronic cortisol is doing to your brain structure while you are functioning. And the research behind it is